I added twice to Nvidia. The first time was it was 2009, and the
Yep.
market had been crushed, and Nvidia literally had been a five-bagger for us, and then dropped below cost. And 5 years after, basically, it was even. And Nvidia had grown up more as a company. It's a fantastic enterprise, even back in 2009, 10. So as I thought about, what stock do I want to re-recommend? Wow, you're telling me I get Nvidia at the same price I did 5 years before? So that was the trigger there. And
Got it.
that, if we were to generalize there, Frank, and abstract it, we'd say, that was also that the market had been crushed. And
Yep.
so, not a bad time to add to your best companies. Think of March of 2020 when the stock market lost 35% of its value in 1 month.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of those companies had dramatically changed, losing a third of their value in 1 month? The answer is very few of them had actually dramatically changed. Certainly, there were incredible stressors and shock on our whole capitalist system when all of a sudden people can't go out. So understandably, it was a hard time. But when the market's gotten crushed, that's not a bad time to do it. The second and final time I added to Nvidia was in 2000 and I think it was 17, January. And this is a very rule breakery fun point because sometimes, Tim, I get these instincts that are a little bit naughty and I sometimes don't act on them. But in this case, I did act on it and it actually worked. So it's fun to talk about. In brief, Nvidia had been the number one performing stock on the S&P 500 in 2016. It had about tripled as an S&P 500 stock. And to start 2017 for Stock Advisor, I was like, you know what is going to be naughty and awesome? I'm actually going to recommend it right here and now because everybody thinks what goes up must come down. We all have these friends who talk about regression to the mean. If it was the best last year, clearly it's going to sell off. And it didn't. It was the 10th best performing stock on the S&P 500. And by the way, over 2017, I think it went up another 80% or something. It's way, way above that now. So we're talking about an absolute monster stock. But those were